All right, you ready to hear? The Toronto Raptors have signed former number 4 overall draft pick Josh Jackson, according to Mark J. Spears. Josh Jackson is now a part of the Toronto Raptors family. And I'm actually a huge fan of this move because we saw Josh Jackson actually have a small resurgence when he played the first season with Detroit. Okay, his first season with Detroit, he actually was not terrible. He was, a guy who could stay on the floor. He was terrible with the Kings and with the Pistons last year. The guy's only 25. He's been in the NBA since 2017. He's technically played, 5 years now? 5 years now. And he's a career 29% three-point shooter. His best seasons shooting three ball were with Memphis and Detroit in 2019-20 and then 2020 to 2021. And this is a guy who shows that I think he could be like a 13 points per game guy, average a block of steal a night like he did for the Pistons in his first season. Then come out, shoot about 10 field goals a night, having about 4 or 5 of those be three-pointers. I don't ever think he's going to be the guy we thought he was going to be. But I don't know. I want to hear your take. And what do you think Josh Jackson could be for this team? This team is loving the fact that they're just going for reclamation project after reclamation project.
Yeah, he found a good home, man. I love Josh Jackson. I've been advocating for the Golden State Warriors to pick this guy up for a couple of weeks now. And while you can never trust a Kansas basketball player, if there's somewhere to make that change, it might be Toronto. So my fingers are crossed. I don't think we'll see double-digit scoring, but if we do,
he was a double-digit scorer already 3 times in his career.
Yeah, but he's not going to get 25 a night in Toronto.
Oh, yeah. No. I think low double digits. Like, for me, this is what I think Josh Jackson, if we wanted to be, quite frank, what Josh Jackson could be, is a guy who starts, plays about 25 minutes a night max. I don't ever see him being more than that, either off or starting. And he's kind of like the 3-and-D guy in a sense for a team where he kind of develops into a poor man's Mikal Bridges, where he's never an elite 3-point shooter, but he's respectable from out there, gets really good at scoring in transition, or just running the passing lanes in transition to be a slasher who can cut to the basket, or even on offense when he's going through motions. This way you have DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul and Devin Booker who can set him up in a similar way, like how Mikal Bridges gets set up. Now you do that idea with Josh Jackson. You now have Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Thad Young, Fred VanVleet, and all these guys who are going to be able to do what Mikal Bridges is able to get done. Like how those guys create on the Suns for Mikal Bridges. I think in a similar fashion, the Toronto Raptors, all the playmakers they have on this roster, could utilize Josh Jackson in a similar way that Mikal Bridges is utilized for the Phoenix Suns. Does that make sense, that comparison?
Mm-hmm.
And I just personally think, this is a guy who could easily, I know he's already been given a shot with the Pistons to restart his career, but Mikal Bridges became what they thought Josh Jackson was going to become when the Suns drafted him. So Josh Jackson has that potential to be what we think he can be. I don't think he'll ever, become what we originally think, but I think he can become that 25 minutes a night guy, scoring, 11 to 13 points a night, a steal and a block a game. It all comes down. He's shown all the tools. It's about keeping the focus there, because there's been times where you're just like, okay, this guy's focus is waning. But I'm done talking about, the Toronto Raptors and Josh Jackson. So let's move on to something else.
Fuck you too.
No, I want to hear your opinion right here. But close it.
I don't want to talk Toronto Raptors.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm excited. Unfortunately, I have a bold take. It's not bold. In fact, it's not bold at all. I don't think it works. I don't think it works. I think that maybe in a season, if they give him a shot, but there's they got a lot of wings, so I don't really think he's going to get much of an opportunity. And when he does, I don't think he's going to make his 3-point shots. And I don't think we'll see too much of Josh Jackson. And I really hope I'm wrong, and that's why I'm saying this out loud here. But I think he's more of a guy where maybe he helps them a little bit this year. But I think maybe if they keep on to him and they like what they see, we'll see it more next year. But yeah, he's still young. I mean, he's definitely not old. He's a solid defender, so hopefully that'll give him some minutes. But they got guys like Otto. We'll see. I wouldn't even be surprised if like DJ Wilson gets more minutes than him because he can shoot better. But we'll see. I like the idea a lot. So hopefully Nick Nurse can get him. I'm not trying to shit on your guys' hopes. I'm just saying, they don't really need him. They don't really need him.
My last Josh Jackson thing is, I know for his career he's 112 defensive rating, but in those 22 games with Memphis, when Memphis wasn't necessarily good, he had 108.9, where he showed he could be, a decent defender. And even with the Pistons, he showed he was a decent defender. I just think there should be a little bit of optimism. If I had to choose who's going to be better, Josh Jackson or Jarrett Culver, I'm choosing Josh Jackson.
100%. Yep. 100%. He's a really solid defender. He's never been on a good basketball team ever at any point in his entire NBA career. When he first got drafted to Phoenix, they were like not even getting 20 wins. And Memphis, they finished below 500, and that might have been the COVID. Was that the COVID year? I think that was the COVID year.
It was during the COVID year, yeah.
And then Detroit, they retooling, and Sacramento definitely wasn't. And he didn't even play much. But yeah, I'm excited, and I really hope that Nick Nurse can get him a 3-point shot, because if he's making any three, if he's even just making threes at a 30% clip with his defense, you'll see him every night.
Yeah, 100%. And he kind of fits, what they needed. They realized that they didn't need just shooting. They needed shooting and defense. That's why they got rid of Svi Mykhailiuk. And I think
he also sucked.
He did suck.
They need shooting. I still think they need shooting. And Josh Jackson's career 29% from downtown doesn't.
I mean, I agree that he doesn't cut the bill. Okay, we'll agree he's not cutting the bill. But let's move on.